Welcome back, guys. Today we are going over a Charizard deck. That's right. This is a 2025 list for Charizard, so it will be surviving rotation come April. And it's a super simple list to play. I know a lot of people do play Charizard because of how simple and straightforward its decks are. But there could be some room for sequencing errors. So obviously it is a very simple deck to play, but it's not a guaranteed win every time, as we're definitely seeing. So to start us off, we do run a 2/2 Pidgey and Pidgeot EX. This is for the quick search ability, and we have enough rare candies in here that we're not too worried about running Pidgeotto in here. Quick search once during your turn lets you search your deck for any card and put it into your hand. And you can only use one per turn. So like having two of them on our bench doesn't help us anymore. We just run two in this deck in case one gets knocked out or one gets prized, something along those lines. And so another nice thing about quick search is you don't have to reveal the card. But more times than not, this is going to be to either find a Charizard or a rare candy or something like that. So very, very beautiful support card. It also has a free retreat, which is incredible. Moving right along, we do run a 2/1/2 of Duskull, Dusclops, Dusknoir. The reason we have the Dusclops in here is because then we don't need to use a rare candy if we can't find one to blow up our Dusclops, as well as to manually evolve if we have to do it turn after turn instead of playing any other cards like that. And Dusknoir, once during your turn, you may put 13 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Using this ability knocks out your Pokemon. Dusclops is the same, but only 5 damage counters. Now, the reason this is so nice is because not only do we get to get early games effectively snipes on cards that our opponent might be needing to use for evolution, but it also can bring certain Pokemon into range of attack, because the beautiful thing that pairs Dusknoir with Charizard so nicely is Charizard's attack. So we do run a 3/2/3 of Charizard EX, and it's because Burning Darkness deals 180, but 30 more for each prize card your opponent has taken. So what this allows us to do is, by blowing up our Dusclops or Dusknoir, we can then deal that additional 30 damage, because now our opponent has taken a prize card. So a good way to think of it is that Dusclops actually deals 80 damage, and Dusknoir actually deals 160 if our opponent's Pokemon is in the active. This also allows us to use counter catchers after blowing up a Dusclops Dusknoir. And it allows us to use a Defiance Band to increase our Charizard's damage even further. And then obviously Charizard, our attacker. Great with Infernal Rain for finding, since we do only have 6 energy in here, for finding said energy. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for 3 basic fire energy and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. And seeing as Burning Darkness only costs 2, we usually have, as soon as we can get one Charizard down, we typically don't have a problem with just keeping the train going. And then we've already gone over his attack, Burning Darkness, 180 plus 30 for each prize card your opponent has taken. And he has 330 HP, which is absolutely huge, just a massive tank. Moving on to our trainers. We do play a counter catcher, again, because then when we blow up a Dusclops or Dusknoir, we're behind in the prize race right away, and we can use this right away as a boss's orders turn 2. We do play a Jacq in here to find evolution Pokemon, as all of our Pokemon do evolve. We don't even play any basic supporting Pokemon, like Pheasantipity or anything like that. So the Jacq is in here for finding those. Prime Catcher is our A-spec of choice. Because Pidgeot has a free retreat, we can effectively use this as a boss's orders, or we can switch out of a bad position if we have to. So great card in here, very aggressive card as well. Morty's Conviction. I play this card just because it's a very powerful draw support, and once you get going, there are quite a few cards in here that you can just use as discard fodder, and so drawing those cards can be really nice. Night Stretcher, obviously you're just getting 2 Pokemon or basic energy back from your discard. More times than not, this is going to be a Pokemon, because say you have a Pidgeot get knocked out, but you have a Pidgey left on your bench, like you played both of them and you have one on your bench that's ready to evolve, you have Rare Candy in hand, you can Night Stretcher your Pidgeot back and then play it out. Same is true for any of these other Pokemon, so Night Stretcher is great for that. Rescue Board, this is for getting a Pokemon that, say, turn 1, we have something in the active that we don't want in the active, like a Dusclops or something. We can just stick this on here and pull it out right away. It doesn't see much use later game, just because Pidgeot has free retreat, so we're going to typically be putting him into the active when we do lose a Pokemon. And our Dusclops we can just blow up, so we can get those out of the active that way. 4 Nest Balls, obviously just finding whatever we need, getting the train rolling right away. 1 Bill's Transfer, again, we're just finding Pokemon, super nice, getting it all into our hand. This way, if we have a rare candy in hand and we're not finding what we need, we can just throw one of these guys down. Super convenient for certain situations. 1 Copy Boss's Orders. Since we play Prime Catcher and Counter Catcher, Boss's Orders we only do have 1 copy of, because it's a very powerful card. It's going to be in every deck, but we only need 1 here because of our other options. 1 copy Jamming Tower. Now we do play Defiance Band in here, so this has capabilities of hurting us, but it's more or less just to get rid of our opponent's stadium in play if we need to. But it's not going to be used every game. It's just kind of in there if we have to get rid of our opponent's stadium. 2 Ionos to just recycle our hand if we need to work with something different. 4 copies of Arven. This is going to find us our Night Stretchers, our rare candies especially, and our rescue boards and our Defiance Bands. So more in here for it's searching for an item, and then the tool is an added bonus, really. 1 Super Rod. This is to get things back from the discard, particularly Fire Energy if we have to. We have to discard some because there are only 6 in the deck. So there's just barely enough for us to get some attacks going. And because Charizard's energy search is so powerful, it allows us to actually use said energy and find it without having to cloud up our deck list with things like Earthen Vessels. So the Super Rod is in here to get that energy back when we need it. 1 Professor's Research. Again, if your hand is subpar, it's cards that you don't really need, or if you only have a few cards in hand that you definitely don't need or can Super Rod back, just a very powerful draw supporter in most decks. Defiance Band. If you have more prize cards remaining, the Pokemon that this card is attached to does 30 more damage. We do have 2 of them in here, and yeah, like I was saying, when we can use our Dusclops or Dusknoir and blow it up, put us behind in the prize race early on, that 30 damage can be very pivotal. 1 copy of Briar. Again, because of Dusclops in here, we can manipulate how many prize cards our opponent has to an extent. So if they're at 3 from knocking out, say, a baby early game and then an EX, we can then blow up our own and then attack for an extra prize card, because our Charizard is a Terra Pokemon, and sometimes this can be very pivotal. This can be game ending or game changing at the very least. 4 copies of Buddy Buddy Poffin. Every basic in this deck can be searched with Buddy Buddy Poffin, so we absolutely want to take advantage of that. And if we can't find this, we do have the 4 Nest Balls, so this is going to try and maximize our ability to set up. 4 copies Ultra Ball. Again, we play many evolution Pokemon in this deck, and so discarding 2 isn't the worst thing in the world with this deck, because quite frankly, it is very simple. There's not a lot of pieces that need to be put together in order to turn out some wins, because Charizard is such a powerful Pokemon. But Ultra Ball just lets us find what we need to when we need to. And then obviously 4 copies of Rare Candy. This is for anything we need in the deck. This is going to be for your Charizard, your Pidgeot, or your Dusclops, or Dusknoir. So obviously a very powerful card. And then, like we said, just 6 Fire Energy. And so that's the list. It's pretty straightforward. What the goal is, just really attack with Charizard, find what you need with Pidgeot, and Dusknoir when you have to. And yeah, let's go ahead and hop into a playtest here. Alright, so let's get into this playtest with our 2025 Charizard list. Now, with this deck, we do have, quite frankly, I personally am not sure. I'm on the fence because we do play a lot of evolution Pokemon, so I feel like going first is going to be our best bet. But we do play a lot of supporters as well. But personally, I think I am going to be choosing to go first when I play this deck. Just because we do have everything in this deck is stage 3s, basically. Opponent will go first, so not ideal, but we are going to be able to use supporters in our hand. Like, we're going to find that Arven, grab ourselves a Buddy Buddy Poffin, and get a decent setup right away. Ooh, we love that mulligan. Unfair Stamp and Dark. Hydrogen? Hydrogen? Or maybe? Maybe Loyal 3? This doesn't tell us a lot. It might be Loyal 3. That'd be really interesting. Oh, Roaring Moon. Oh, duh. Yeah, Loyal 3 is a very niche deck. Not a lot of people play it. It does have a cap of how powerful it can be. Although Okidoki does have the ability to hit for 300 damage a turn with Binding Mochi. So obviously it's a powerful deck, but it's not as simple to pilot as Roaring Moon or other choices in the meta. Pokestop. No hits and only one ancient. Love that. Yeah, I think since we have the Super Rod in hand, we are going to go ahead and Pokestop. Rare Candy. I think we're going to leave that stuff in there. Go in here, grab ourselves a Buddy Buddy Poffin, and let's go Defiance Band because we're probably going to see this Charmander get knocked out. So we are going to grab another Charmander. And as much as I want to find our Pidgeot, since we have Dusknoir in hand, we're going to look to blow up that Radiant Greninja if we can. Right. So yeah, he is very, as Roaring Moon decks typically do, setting up that Vengeance Fletching kind of in the background. As he plays using his Roaring Moon EX, ancient cards are just going to be discarded over time. So he's setting that up in the background as a another 3 discard. This guy's Pokestop is not being his friend. So now he is going to be able to Calamity Storm. Does he have to? No, you may discard. So he's probably not going to discard the Stadium just because he has Knockout regardless. So now we have many an option here. Let's get a little display of what this deck can do. So we are going to draw. Get this going here. And Rare Candy is playing from our hand. So we're just going to grab the 2 because there's no point in putting an energy on our Dusclops that we're about to blow up. And we can Curse Blast to... Yeah, I think we are going to blow up his Radiant Greninja. Although, no, because we'll be able to knock out Roaring Moon regardless, I feel like. We might... Here, we definitely are going to do this. I'm debating what to nest ball for. Probably, I think we're going to grab a Pidgey because we are going to Iono here. We might actually get, we're going to Super Rod back Charmander, Duskull, and yeah, I think we're going to get those guys back before we Iono. Buddy Buddy Poffin. So now we can get these guys going in the background. And that's pretty much all we're looking to do here, and we have Knockout. So let's see how he can respond. How many Ancient does he have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right now. So 7. So he's at 140 with his Vengeance. 140, and then was it 150, 160? Retreating. So he's going to look to Frenzied Gouging, I believe, for Knockout here. So we might actually be in a bit of a tough spot because we do need to find a rare candy for our Charmander. Oh yeah, top deck, baby. So I think that's pretty much going to be game. Don't know if he'll be able to recover. Sure, we'll just grab it. Why not? Yep, that's game. Because now we can get the finish on his Roaring Moon and then knock out his Roaring Moon EX and then knock out his Roaring Moon. So absolutely incredible deck, super simple to play. Yeah, there's really not much to it. So I'm definitely going to recommend this list over any of the others to you guys because of just how easy it is to take quick wins like that. And I think we are going to keep it a bit of a shorter video today. So I hope you did enjoy this display of Charizard EX. And again, this list is a 2025, so it will be surviving rotation. So thank you all for watching, and have a lovely day.